Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I welcome all of you in this PMP introductory session. My name is Abu Bakar Ehsan. I have done bachelor's in computer science, master's in information technology. I am PMP certified, which is a project management professional, for which we are in this meeting today to get to know about this PMP certification, inshallah. And RMP, risk management professional, and ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, and Black Belt Certified. I have more than 23 years of working experience with already conducted more than 200 PMP workshops with more than 12,000 engineers and managers just like you. So just to tell you that today it's only introduction, but our full course is starting from 17th of May, inshallah. This will be the schedule of the full course. It will be Friday and Saturday for 4 weekends and total 8 classes, and every class will be 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Uh, according to KSA time, inshallah. Some of my online and offline sessions I have conducted this. We just finished 2 weeks ago and on Zoom. This I conducted in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. For Nokia company. This was my open session in Riyadh because mostly I was conducting trainings in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh, Dammam, Khobar, Jubail, Yambo, Jeddah, face-to-face, in person in hotels. But after COVID, I have shifted to online only. This was National Petroleum Yambo. This is KFUPM. KFCA, King Fahd Causeway Authority, the bridge between Khobar and Bahrain. For that authority, we conducted a training. This was KFUPM, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Mineral Sciences. This was STC and their head office. And this was my open session in Khobar. So I will start with very basics that who can do PMP, right? What are the prerequisites? And wherever you feel you can stop me, you can ask questions, and I will try to answer, inshallah. So in order to do PMP, there are two prerequisites. Number one prerequisite is the experience requirement, and number two is the training requirement, right? If you are a graduate with more than with 4 years degree program or total overall 16 years education, in that case you need minimum 3 years of working experience related to the projects. Once again, if you are a graduate with 4 years degree, you need 3 years experience. If you are a graduate with 3 years degree or less than that, any diploma or school certificate, anything less than 4 years, in that case, you can still apply for the PMP exam, but the experience requirement is increased to 5 years instead of 3 years. Anyone having any doubt on this particular requirement related to experience, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Abu Bakar. Zuhaib
Welcome,
here.
salam, rahmatullah. Welcome, yes, please.
Yeah, so I would like to ask you, this experience has to be exclusively from a project work experience, or it has to be something that can be related to a project, could be administration or could be transferable skills. I mean, how does it quantify as a project experience? Is there something like, for example, I'm the administration manager in a company here in Dubai. So can my administration experience count towards these 3 years? Because I have like 5 years experience in that, more than that actually. And I have
This is,
16 years of
yeah.
degree as well.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When you say administration, administration is not a project actually, right? So short answer is no. Let me explain that. So within that, maybe you find a way that you can still qualify for this certification. So when we say we are doing something repeatedly, this is called as operations. So administration stuff comes under operations. When we say we are working on a project, that means we are doing something new. We are making something new. We are making a new building, maybe. We are making a new software, maybe. We are upgrading an existing product, maybe. We are computerizing our systems, our operations, maybe. So if under your administration, if you have worked on any enhancement in the operations, let me explain it a little more. Let's say someone is working as a finance manager. Now, as a finance manager, what you are working on? Are you working on projects or operations? What do you think? Zohaib, what do you think?
Yeah, so my core job is actually, as you rightly pointed out, it's like more of an operations, it's like repetitive job.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I'm going explaining a hypothetical scenario. So as a finance manager, what do you think? Is supposed to work on projects or operations?
well, I would say mostly on operations, I guess.
Operations. Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
You are working on operations. But what if, as a finance manager, you say up till 2022, we were working on paper-based accounting or Excel-based accounting. But in 2023, we shifted to Oracle ERP. Now, same finance manager, he has supervised a set of activities under him where his department shifted from Excel-based accounting to Oracle-based accounting. So this shifting, this enhancement, this improvement is not operation. This will be called as a project. So under your supervision, or it's not necessary that you were leading that only, maybe you were part of that. So if you were part of any enhancement, any change in the organization, even if your title is operations manager, but you did something to improve the operations, it will be considered as a project. Is it clear, Zuhaib?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I will hold my further questions. I'll maybe ask you after for more
Sure.
information, I guess.
Anyone else having any question, please go ahead. Okay. So if you are working and you have degree of 4 years, then you need 3 years experience. If you have less than that, then you need 5 years of working experience.
Sorry, just one more thing for clarity. Is it
Yeah.
3 years post-qualification experience, or can this be simultaneous? Like you might have come post-qualification. All right.
Post-qualification.
Thank you.
Either it will be 5 years throughout the life or
Okay.
3 years after graduation.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Now, for example, let's say Zohaib, if I ask you, how much total experience you told? 17 years, something like that, maybe?
No, I have worked as administration manager for more than 5 years, but
5
I have
years.
like diverse experience more than that
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Let's say someone has 20 years of experience. I'm sure there must be many people in this group having more than 20 years of experience, maybe. So in case you have 20 years of experience and you are applying for this certification, you do not need to enter all 20 years. When you are applying for this exam, and where to apply for this exam? On this website. www.pmi.org. And what is PMI? Anyone can guess?
Project
Project
Management
management.
Institute.
Project Management Institute. And what is the relationship between PMI and PMP? Very easy question.
PMI is the organization that is going to be conduct the PMP exam.
All right. So PMI is the governing body of this certification. They have like maybe 10 other certifications also. Like I mentioned, I am ACP, I'm RMP, I'm PMP. So all these three are from PMI. So PMI is the governing body. So whenever in future, remember there is a slight difference in this certification and many other certifications like ISO certification, Six Sigma certification. So mostly what you do, the same trainer who is giving you the training, he will take your exam. But in PMP, this is not the scenario. You will take the training from me or from anyone else in the market, from any other institute. After that, your connection with the trainer is finished. Yes, as a friendly connection, yes, you can keep in touch. But now you are no more dependent on the trainer to complete your certification. You only need a certificate of training attendance. That's it. After that, whenever in life, after 1 month, after 6 months, after 5 years, whenever in life you want, you can go to this website www.pmi.org and you can start filling your PMP application. So this is without the involvement of the trainer or the training center. Any question or confusion up till this point, please? Okay, so on this website, you will make your profile and you will start filling your experience related to the projects. And as I told you, you need 3 years experience, but in case you have 20 years experience, so do not enter full 20 years. You will only enter 3 years, which is the minimum requirement. But there is a restriction here only within last 8 years, not before that. So for example, you take the training from me in May and June, and in August, for example, August 24, you are filling your application. So at the time of filling your application in August 2024, if you enter any experience which belongs to 2012, 2006, 2013, it will not be considered. Reason? It is not in the latest 8 years. So only within last 8 years, you are allowed to mention your experience. So if you are filling your application in August 2024, so between August 2016 to August 2024, you can mention your 3 years. It could be any 3 years of your choice. It's not necessary it has to be in a single project. It could be more than one project. It could be with the gaps also. It could be in one company. It could be in multiple companies. It could be in one country. It could be in multiple countries. There is no restriction on that. Any question or confusion from anyone, please?
Okay, so if there are other people as well, I'm sorry, I'm asking more questions. So
No, I'm
just for
happy that
clarity on
someone is asking questions. Yes, please go ahead.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm not sure if this information is coming after this as well, but will this experience be well documented and verifiable? Because if I work in a small company and the company doesn't exist anymore, or I mean, for some reason I do not have an authentic verifiable document, so is that experience lost, or will that still be counted if I have an experience letter, if I can just write on my own with some kind of reference that I've worked on this project and something like that, which adds up
If
to 3 years
you
or 36
have
months?
experience letter, that is enough. regardless that company is closed or open, or it was a big company or a small company. So that doesn't matter. Problem is if you do not have experience letter and that company has closed also, even in that case, as an exception, PMI entertains that yes, if you can somehow arrange some more references who can verify that yes, he has worked in that company and that company does not exist anymore, they still accept, right?
So what is their process of scrutinizing the experience? If I have like multiple experiences in different companies purely as a project on smaller tasks, maybe few months, which totally, which in total, which they add up to 36 months or more. So what is the scrutiny process of that experience that me or any candidate would, show to
Yeah,
them to the PMI?
I will explain that in few minutes, inshallah. There is an
Right.
audit
Awesome.
process. I will come to that. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anyone else having any question, please go ahead. Okay. So this is about the experience letters, or sorry, not experience letters. Experience letters I will explain. This is about the experience requirement. Second thing is the training requirement. So if you have already required number of years of experience and you have attended a training of 35 hours or 35 PDUs, PDUs means professional development units, from any institute. I'm not saying only from us or only from these 10 only. From any training center, if you take the training, it is acceptable. But yes, the quality of the training may make your preparation easy or difficult. That is the secondary thing. But the PMI wise acceptance of the certificate is same for everyone. So if you attend a training from us, or if you attend a training from anyone else, they will issue a certificate and that certificate will fulfill this training requirement. Any question or confusion on that, please?
Okay, so this training institute, is there a list of those training institute that PMI accepts, or any means any at all, or maybe
Any
online
means
as well and
any,
remotely?
any.
Any at all. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So after that, there is a application review process which takes roughly one week, and within 1 week they review, and if they are okay with your application process, then you can apply for the exam, right? And the exam is 230 minutes, 180 questions, and it is all objective questions. Just give me a minute. There is some noise coming. I will request them. Just give me a second, please. Yes, I am back now. Okay, anyone having any questions so far? Okay, Dr. Tahani Majub, you mentioned my experiences in higher education. So in higher education, once again, if you are in education industry, if you are delivering the courses again and again, this will be considered as operations. But if you
Assalamu alaikum.
launch a new course, Walaikum Assalam Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. You want
I'm
to say something?
teaching.
Yeah.
I'm teaching this course for undergraduate and master degree. Teaching only.
Teaching on, right. So if
Yeah.
you are teaching a course that is considered as an operation, But if you are launching a new course, that you prepare the syllabus of that, or you improved the examination system of some university. So if you did something to enhance the operations, then it is considered as a project. Otherwise, it will be considered as operations only.
Yeah, no, only teaching in classes in university.
Yeah. By the way, let
Not
me tell you one interesting thing. Like you mentioned that I have only experience in operations only. So just for some of you, or maybe some friends or relatives around you, there is a junior version of PMP certification. PMP,
uh-huh.
I'm just explaining right now. There is a junior version of PMP which is called as CAPM, Certified
Uh-huh.
Associate in Project Management. Because this is a very interesting and useful course, knowledge, right? So if you are experienced enough, you will go to qualify and give the exam of PMP. But still, if you are not qualified enough, you do not have enough experience, you have 2 years experience, you have 1 year's experience, you have zero experience, but still
Yeah.
you are interested in doing this certification, but you will not go for PMP, you will apply for CAPM. CAPM is also from PMI. Same
Okay.
training, same training, same book, same concepts, but exam will be easier, right? So this is another alternate available for you, that if you do not qualify for PMP but still interested in doing this training because it opens opportunities for you in your career, inshallah. So you have CAPM
Inshallah.
available for you.
Okay, inshallah.
And
Thanks.
you're welcome. My pleasure. Anyone else having any question, please?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is Alay Armangi. So I
Welcome.
have done my master's in project management from the best Karachi.
Nice, mashallah.
So we have already received the degree from the best. So 35 PDUs are eligible for this or not? Or for this we have to get an other certificate from the institute.
See, for the sake of applying for this exam, your
Yes.
master's in project management, any course in that you can present as 35 contact hours of training, right?
Okay.
It is acceptable.
Yes. Yes.
So you qualify for that. But even if you have that certificate available, you might not have studied PMP's book or knowledge or concepts in this way in your graduation or post-graduation. So even many of my students who attend my training and they already have certificate, they can apply for the exam on that basis. But after 1 year, 2 years, they forget everything and they come again in my courses just to refresh the knowledge. So 2 points here, that yes, your master's in project management makes you eligible, but
Okay.
it might not be that useful to be able to prepare for the PMP exam. So maybe you still need for your learning only to attend a PMP training course. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes. It is. It is.
Right. Anyone else having any question, please?
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay. So after you have this experience requirement and you have the training certificate available with you, you can apply for the exam. After your exam application is approved, then you will pay for the fee. How much is the fee? I will explain you in few minutes, inshallah. And then when you book your exam, it's just like your airline booking. You can book your exam on any available date. It's not must that only after 3 months or after 6 months you have a date available. Either you give the exam or you miss it. No. It is available every week, every day available, every working day available. You can book exam anytime of your convenience, and you can give that exam. And if you pass that exam on the spot, you will you will get the result, and you are PMP certified immediately after passing that exam. Any question or confusion before I go to the next slide, please? Okay. Now, if you remember, Zohaib asked a question about the verification of the experience or the scrutiny process. So remember, whenever you submit your exam application, 10% of the applications are selected randomly for the audit. Remaining 90%, whatever they have written, facts or fiction, they accept it as it is. But randomly 10% of the applications they select for the audit. If your application is not in the audit, you can directly, after 1 week of their review, and they say, yes, your application is fine, then you will pay your fee and book your exam date. But if your application is in the 10%, then you have to upload these things: educational certificates, your degree or transcript, your experience letters for selected 3 or 5 years, which you have mentioned in your exam application, your email contact of your supervisors or colleagues on those projects which you have mentioned in your application, and your training certificate also, if you from the same institute which you have mentioned in your application. Remember, when you are filling your application on this website, www.pmi.org, while you are filling your education details, you will mention the name of the university, the years, the major of your degree. Similarly, when you mention your experience, you mention the name of the companies, the years starting and finishing. When you mention your training, you mention the name of your training institute and the dates of the training. So all that information you have already entered. In case your application comes in the audit process, you have to upload the matching certificates. This is the audit process. Any question or confusion, please?
Okay, I have one question, but from the previous slide. Like, I have experience of software quality assurance engineer in software house. So we doesn't have any proper project management experience for that degree. So it is sufficient to uh, have that experience that we are working in a software house
See,
in a different projects.
I work, my whole experience is working in software industry. So I am also from software houses. So even if you are doing QA, right, or QC, that also we will discuss what is the right term. That is also part of project management. You do
Management.
planning of that also. You do execution of that also. You do the status checking for that also. So that also comes under project management.
Okay.
So yes, you can
Or
present.
another question is that if someone have a degree of software project management from the some of institute that like FAST is offering that particular degree in Pakistan. So how we can differentiate a PMP with SPM so that we can make our direction to that particular line.
By the way, I'm also from FAST, right? Some of my friends, my class fellows, they also did masters in project management from FAST, and after that they did PMP certification also,
Okay.
right? Yes, this is another thing that for them it was just a matter of maybe 1 to 2 weeks only to clear that certification, because they had already studied everything in detail in their master's program. So master's is a degree in that knowledge, in that subject. Certification is a short course. both are not replacements of each other. So if you have done certification and you are planning to do masters, yes, maybe you can consider doing that. Or if you have done masters and you are planning to do PMP, yes, you shall consider doing this also. But certification has a standard value all over the world. Master's degree may not have same value. It depends you have done from this university or that university. If you go to another country, they will say, we never heard about fast. What is fast? But if you are in
Yeah,
Pakistan,
of course.
they will say, fast, mashallah, mashallah, you are from fast. So the PMP everywhere in the world, they treat it in the same way. So short answer, both are not replacements of each other. Any other question or confusion from anyone, please?
Just a supplementary question to this. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it. Is PMI the only institute which is standardized and recognized globally, or it is one of those few major institutes or major institutions which are the certification body for this project management certificate? Are there any other which are more valuable?
There are some other certifications related to project management, but whenever we say PMP, for PMP, PMI is the only body. There is no other body giving certification of PMP in the world. Unlike some other certifications like Six Sigma Green Belt, Black Belt, Yellow Belt, or ISO Lead Auditor, there are multiple bodies giving the certification with the same title. But PMP is only given by PMI. There is no other body, right?
And if I understand it correctly, is this the globally accepted certification for project management? And the only globally accepted certification for the
No,
project management?
there is a big difference.
Okay.
Globally accepted, definitely yes. Only globally accepted, no one can say that. But yes, it
Mhm.
is most popular.
Most popular. That's right answer. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question from anyone, please?
Assalamu alaikum, Rafi here.
Walaikum salam.
Well, I have a question related to training part.
Yeah.
Can you explain that part again?
What is your confusion so that I can answer you accordingly?
What is meant by 35 contact hour project
Okay.
management
For
training?
example, I told in the beginning that this is the training schedule that inshallah we will start on 17th of May, we will finish on 8th of June. So if you enroll in our training, at the end of this training, let's say we finish inshallah on 8th of June, on 9th of June, we will issue you a certificate that will fulfill your requirement of these 35 hours. If you want, you can register with us. If you want, you can register with any other institute. But every institute at the end of the training will issue you a certificate. That certificate will fulfill this requirement. Is it clear now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Abu Bakr, there is a generic course from Google, and there are some other online courses as well on Udemy and Coursera. I'm sure you are aware of it, and many of the colleagues in this meeting as well. This is a certificate which says like basics or fundamentals of project management. So does it qualify to be one of those 35 hours courses which would be accepted as training? The online course from Google or some other institutes on
See,
Coursera
if
and
now there are two different things. The length of the course has to be 35 plus. 35 hours or plus. Second
at least
thing is content.
okay.
Now, for example, I offer another training. I offer multiple trainings. I offer ACP also. ACP is Agile certification. I offer MS Project also. I offer RMP also. I offer Primavera P6 also. So let's say you attend my course of Microsoft Project that is also available on Udemy. And although the certificate I issue is of 20 PDUs, but just for the sake of example only, I issue you a certificate of 40 PDUs. It will be accepted by PMI for PMP certification. But can you do the preparation of PMP on that basis? Answer is big no. So I hope now you understand that the length, if it is more than 35, yes, it is acceptable. But the content, are they covering the PMP exam content? So yes or no? That is a big question. So maybe Google is offering some project management certification, but it is not related to PMP certification. I hope
So
it
this the
answers your
syllabus has
question.
to be from that. And the junior course, CAPM, I guess you
Yeah.
mentioned that. So this training requirement is, does it stand true for that as well, or that is exempted
Yeah,
for
that
that?
is, you can say overqualification for that. That needs maybe 23 hours, not 35.
Okay, but there is still a requirement for training for that as well, even if you are an
Yeah.
absolute big.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Can one do as a self preparation through something and can qualify as a 35 hours if I study on my own
No.
through YouTube channels?
You must need a certificate.
Okay, okay, all right.
Because as I told you, you have to mention in your application, and
Mhm.
in case your application comes in the audit, you have to upload that.
Okay, and at this point, if you fall short of any of these requirements, if you cannot defend it properly, so what are the consequences of that? The application which is under
Rejected.
scrutiny, this will be rejected, or I mean, what are the worst consequences? Will you not be able to apply again, or
No, you
what
you will
happens?
be given chance to apply again, but this particular episode of your application is rejected, closed.
Can you apply very next week or very next session?
Yeah, maybe with the
Okay.
different information,
All right, okay, thank you.
but it should not be contradicting information at least.
Yeah, of
Contradicting
course.
means that yes, earlier you said I have done bachelor's in computer science, and now you are saying I'm MBBS doctor. Right?
Mhm, correct. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
covered.
Now the exam application, we have covered already exam information. It's a computer-based exam. You have two options. You can go to some test center also. And of course, you will not decide it on that day. It is pre-decided. You will choose it yourself. That either I want to go to an exam center or I want to give that exam from home. In every big city, you will find easily a test center. It is recommended that you choose a test center to give the exam. At home, yes, you can give that exam, but your internet requirements, your mic, camera, everything has to be perfect. Still, there is a lot of disturbance because they will arrange a person who will continuously watch you and interact with you. He will talk to you also in between. So that is the extra pressure or extra disturbance, which is easily avoidable. Any question or confusion on this first point? So it's 180 questions. All questions are multiple choice questions or fill in the blanks or mapping definitions. Total time is 230 minutes. On average, you have 76 seconds to answer each question. It's up to you how much time you want to spend on each question. You will decide. You will answer a question, then you will click on next or previous, or you can decide not to answer a question and go to next question and later on come back to that question which you had left already. There is no negative marking. And out of 180 questions, 5 questions are considered as pre-test questions. Pre-test questions have zero weightage, right? And they are not scored, not considered, regardless your answer was right or wrong. But the point here is that there is no indication which 5 questions, right? So you will have to respect all the questions equally and answer it to the best of your knowledge. Roughly 60 to 75% passing marks. This is an idea only. There is no official wording on this particular passing marks criteria. So it's just an estimate that this is the passing marks, roughly between this and this. And it is not verifiable also, because once you pass your exam, and as I told you, on the spot your result is given, the result is given in qualitative form. Result is not given in quantitative form. Now, what is meant by that? Qualitative form means once you finish your exam, within few seconds, you will get your result, overall pass or fail, written on the screen without any numbers. No percentage given that you answered 30% or 70% or like this. After that, when you come outside the lab and you inform your attendant that I have finished my exam, he will give you a printout, and that printout will have little more detail about your exam. The exam is grouped in three, you can say, chapters or topics, which are people, process, and business. This is all related to project management. But in the exam, there will be no distinction that this question is coming from people domain or process domain or business. No. They will tell you in these three domains, and before the exam, you know already from PMI's material that 42% of the questions will come from people domain, 50% of the questions will come from process domain, and 8% of the questions will come from business domain. This number is officially mentioned by PMI. Now, after you get your result on the printout, they will mention that in the people domain, you were above target or on target or below target. Similarly, on the process domain and the business domain, this is your result that you get. Nowhere they mention about the percentage of the questions you have answered successfully. Any question or confusion from anyone, please?
Okay, Abu Bakr, is this a lifetime certificate or does it need a refresher or recertification after a certain time? Just for example, there is an IELTS certificate which is valid for a certain number of years and you have
Maybe
to
you are
retake.
going maybe 10 minutes before ahead of me. I'm
Oh,
coming to
okay.
that point.
I still hold it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Any other question from anyone, please? This is how the exam interface looks like. There are two screens. This is screen number 1 and this is screen number 2. In every question will come one by one in front of you in screen number 1. So here the question statement will be there and the options will be there. On the top, there will be a button to start the calculator if you feel there is some calculation required. There will be remaining time coming here. There will be next button, there will be previous button. So if you like, let's say you are on question number 30 and you have given an answer. My answer is B. After that, you click on next and you come to question number 31. Question number 31, you feel, oh, it's a difficult question, I do not want to answer it right now. Again, click on next, go to question number 32. Question number 32, you say, I think answer is C, but I'm not sure. I'm confused. If I get time, I want to come back to it. So there is an option here for flag it. So if you flag for review, later on you can come back to this question number 32. So this is how you go to next or previous. And if you skip a question number 31, it will not be replaced. It is still there. Sooner or later, before the exam finish, you must answer it. It will not be replaced by another question. So after that, Whenever you feel I have done the exam, or in between also, if you want to go to review screen, which is screen number 2. So on review screen, you will see all the question numbers only without the statements or the options. And here you can see, for example, here question number 14, you have flagged it. So you can directly click on question number 14 and question number 14 will appear in screen number 1. Or question number 7, you have left unanswered. You can directly click on question number 7 and you will go to screen number 1 with question number 7 open. And there again, you can go to next or previous also. So this is how this exam software looks like. And when you feel you have done the review, you can click on end review. This is end of your exam. And after that, within few seconds, you will get your result. Or if the allotted time is passed, then it will be submitted automatically even if your exam is incomplete. So this is how it works. Any question or confusion from anyone, please?
Yeah, so for example, if you are in a specific question, let's say question number 4, and you don't take any action, you don't mark it, you don't do anything, and it is timed out.
No,
Does it
there's no
move to
timed out. Exam is timed out. Question will not be timed out.
you have to manually proceed,
Yeah.
otherwise you will stay on the same screen and the
Yeah.
exam
There is
time will.
no set time limit for a question.
Okay, all right. So the total time is divided as an average, as an idea that you have to
Yeah.
spend this much
Yeah.
time on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Some questions maybe you can answer in 20 seconds, click on next. Some questions may need 2 minutes, 3 minutes to think about.
All right.
Right? So it's up to you. Any other question from anyone, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
If you answer some question and then you find that you are wrong, can you
Yes. You
answer
can
it
change.
again?
You can change your answers also.
Okay. Okay.
But now they have slightly modified the way how they do the exam experience. There are 180 questions. All these questions they have split in 3 groups now: 60, 60, 60. After every 60 questions, there is a 10 minutes break. And after you come back, the next 60 questions will start. Now you cannot go back to the first 60 questions. So now they have split it in 3 sets of 60, 60, and 60. But overall, it is still, the idea is still same.
So is it marked somewhere when you start your exam that you are in the first set of 60 questions?
Definitely enough indications will be there.
Right, thanks.
The cost of the exam, if you are a PMI member, there is a membership fee also. I will explain that in next slide, inshallah. If you are a PMI member, the exam fee is $405 US, and if you are not a member, the exam fee is $555 US. And for the sake of simplicity, ignoring a difference of $5-10, the membership fee is roughly $140 US. So now if you consider 405 plus 140 or directly 555, so it's almost same. So it is recommended that you should take membership and then apply for the exam. And in case you do not pass in first attempt, you are allowed to give the second attempt also, third attempt also. Second attempt will cost you $275 US if you are a member. If you are not a member, $375. So now you see there is a discount for the members also. And third attempt is also same fee. After the application approval, within 1 year, you can give 3 attempts maximum. and the result is given immediately on the spot. Any question or confusion, please?
Okay, it can be skipped if it is coming ahead, but if it is not, then what is the benefit of being a member and what do you lose if you do not sign up for a membership? And second question would be that this 1 year eligibility, if you complete 1 year and you are failed in three times, so do you have another chance? What do you have to do? What's your course of action after that?
Yeah. For the membership, yes, I'm coming on the next slide. If in case, although it should not happen, it should never happen that someone giving 3 attempts and failing in 3 attempts, he is put on a hold for 1 year. And after 1 year ban, you can say, then he can apply for the fourth attempt with the new application and again starting with $405 with the membership.
Can
Very
I ask a question?
rarely, give me a few seconds, then you can ask, right?
Okay.
Very rarely it happens that someone fails in first attempt. Alhamdulillah, at least in my circle, most of the people, they pass in first attempt. Very rarely, maybe I can say safely say, Alhamdulillah, more than 95% people, they pass in first attempt. Very rarely someone, he fails in first attempt, he learns from his mistakes, and he does a better preparation next time. And after 1 month, 2 months, he gives the exam again and he passes the exam in the second attempt. So, inshallah, you should target that you will pass in first attempt. In case if it does not happen, pass in second attempt, inshallah. Yes, please go ahead. You were asking something.
Yes, the membership is it calendar or a sense subscription?
Membership is for 1 year, right? It is
Yes,
for 12
starting
months.
From January or from the subscription date?
No, from the subscription date, 12 months.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah. And remember, keep in mind that there is an auto renewal checkbox also. So some people they pass PMP and they forget everything, and after 1 year, their credit card is charged with another $140, so they get to know about it. So remember, after you have passed PMP, it is not must for you to continue the membership. You can uncheck that auto renewal. It is purely optional. It is not mandatory for you to continue the membership. So in the first year, yes, as there is a discount available and it is an insurance for the second and third attempt also, it is recommended to take the membership. But after that, you can opt out for the membership renewal. Any question or confusion about this? Okay, membership fee is roughly $139 and that is waived from the examination fee. And what are the other benefits? You get access to PMI library and you can download their latest standards and regulations, publications that, not regulations, publications. You become part of a worldwide community, so it's good for networking also. And in every big city, there are chapters and Riyadh also, Dammam also, Jeddah also, and they do sometimes networking seminars also, symposiums also, maybe some iftar dinners also. You can review PMI conducted salary surveys also, that how much people are earning in different countries on the basis of PMP. For example, this is a very lengthy document available, and so it's an interesting data and reliable data also. For example, let's say as a planning engineer, they will show you data like this, that any planning engineer with 5 to 10 years experience, 10 to 15 years experience, 15 plus years of experience with PMP, and it is country wise. Let's say in KSA, in Qatar, in UAE, in Europe, in Australia, Canada, USA, that with PMP, how much you are earning on average, and without PMP, how much you are earning. So it gives you a good idea that how much is the benefit of doing PMP certification in monetary terms. So these are few advantages of PMP, PMI's membership. Any question or confusion, please?
Assalamu alaikum, Hafizain here.
Welcome,
Uh, I wanted to ask in PMI library, do we have content like for the preparation,
No.
mock test or something, or
No.
and in regard of that, if we are trying to get the training from you, is it covering the examination fee or some other benefits or?
No.
And what else if we are having a confusion on a particular topic or something? Do you like giving some advantages, like if someone want to ask that I want to clarify on particular topic
See, that is not
after
as
the
a
training?
commitment. Honestly speaking, that is not as a commitment, but that is on a friendly terms. Right? What happens as maybe for you, this is the first time you are going to register for this training. For me, as I told you, I have already conducted more than 200 sessions. So very rarely it happens that someone comes back to me. Yes, it happens, but very rarely that I have this confusion. The reason behind that, first, we have spent enough time on the training. After that, you are supposed to read the book. So in the book, it is more explained than the training itself. So any questions, confusions, these are addressed in the books itself. Plus, with every session I conduct, I make a WhatsApp group. Right? So sometimes people share their confusions or knowledge sharing on the group also. So this is how we address this particular point. But as I told you, this is not a commitment, but this is on purely friendly basis. If I am available, if I have time, if you have asked a good question. Otherwise, if you ask a question that you can easily find the answer yourself directly, then maybe I will not answer it. But yes, if it's a really good question and I feel that it is an advanced level question and it is not covered in my training or in the books, yes, I like to answer that. Right? I hope it answers your questions, all the three questions.
And is it required to feeling confident that you want to prepare some mock test preparation so that you can be confident and you will go to the exam after the mock test?
You must do enough mock exams.
And where we will find those mock tests?
See, majority of the mock test I will provide, right? But as some people, they give the exams immediately after the training within 2-3 months. Some people, they give the exam after 1 year, 2 years, 5 years even. So the things, the contents, the exams, they keep on changing, right? So sometimes I advise on the basis of recent exams also. So if you are giving the exam now, maybe the recommended mockups are different. If you contact me after 2 years and you ask me that I took a training from you in 2024, now I'm planning to give the exam, maybe my recommended mockup exams will be different. And some people, and as my students, they keep on giving the exams, they also keep on sharing their experience with me. Some people, they recently recommended, some sources are available on PMI website also, but this is not included in the membership fee. You have to subscribe it separately, roughly around $55. Any other question, please?
So we can contact you 4 months, 6 months if we are preparing, but we are doing some mock test also. So what will be the timeline? Like, what will be the duration that you will be providing the mock test material?
See, mock test materials I will give you within the course or before the end of the course in PDF form. Right? So that is with you. So there is no expiry of that. It's not a software. It's not a web access. Right? So this was your question?
Like you mentioning that the PMP exam material also changing after time. Roughly how much the time that the exam will be updated?
It changes on average in 2 to 3 years.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, now Zohaib, you asked this question also, that is this PMP forever, for lifetime, or there is an expiry of that? So yes, there is an expiry of that. PMP is for 3 years. But the good thing is it is renewable without exam. That is a good thing. But with the condition that if you keep on collecting 60 PDUs, just like before the exam, how many PDUs you need? 35. After you pass the exam, those 35 PDUs become zero in this context. And now, within next 3 years, next 36 months, you need to collect another 60 PDUs by attending other trainings, or maybe you can deliver the trainings also related to project management. For example, I told you I give training on ACP 23 PDUs. I give trainings on RMP 30 PDUs, MS project 20 PDUs, Primavera P6 20 PDUs. So it's not necessary that you attend from me only. You can attend from anyone else, right? So if you attend trainings of 60 or more hours in next 3 years, your certification will be renewed without exam after 3 years. And there's no restriction on the distribution across the 3 years. Maybe you attend all the trainings in the first year. Maybe you attend some trainings in first, some trainings in second, some trainings in third, or maybe all the trainings in the third year. There's no restriction on that. And if you do not have 60 PDUs, let's say in 3 years, you do not have the 60 PDUs, what will happen at the end of the 4th year? Your certification will be suspended. They will give you as a grace period this 4th year, and it's a warning that within this 4th year, if you can collect the missing PDUs, your certification will be renewed or reverted back to the normal state. But if that 4th year is also gone, then your certification will be cancelled, and now you can get it back only whenever in your life you need it again. You have to appear in the exam again. This is how it works. Any question or confusion, please?
Right. Thank you for answering this. So, does it have to be this classroom sort of learning with these hours mentioned in the certificate, or if you get a proper job and you are in the full-fledged project management career, so does the on-job experience count as the training or
They
substitute?
count only 8 PDUs for that. So still the remaining ones you need to collect from other sources, either
Okay.
attending trainings
Mhm.
or delivering trainings. So even
Okay.
if you
So
are
how
delivering
do
the
these?
training, still that is acceptable, but that is very rare for the participants. So easiest is attending training.
Okay. So these 8 PDUs, how do they calculate? Like, is there a
No,
time window for
if you
that? Like,
have worked for 3 years as a project manager.
okay, so that will be counted as full 8
Yeah,
hours.
earlier it was 15 PDUs, but now they have capped it to 8 PDUs.
All right. And if you want to deliver the training, so from that, or do you have to be a registered trainer with the PMI or something, or?
You just need a certificate from your HR department or from any institute on their platform of which you have delivered the training. That's it.
Okay, so these hours are equal. Either you're
Yeah.
attending as a trainer or you're delivering as a
Like
trainer.
these 3 hours or 2 hours right now, depends upon when we finish, inshallah. So let's say we take full 3 hours. So these 3 hours are PDUs for you also, 3 PDUs for you also, 3 PDUs for me also.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. So just a style of exam just to show you how they ask questions, and then we will take a short break, inshallah. So sometimes they ask questions in this way that these are the 4 options. What do you think? Which one is the false option? That means out of 4 options, 3 are true, 1 is false. Related to project plan approval. This is a sample question. So can you go through these 4 options and can you tell me what do you think is the right answer?
Option D is important. It's not important for entire team to buy a project management plan to be successful.
It is important or not important?
It's not important. So it's
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would also go for option D because it's asking for which one is not true. So it looks like D is not true.
Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of option A? Until you obtain plan approval, you don't need to put changes to it through change control. Can anyone explain me the meaning of that?
like if I talk about that, we have a our team is working on a feature, and then we got a change request from a client side. Until we got approval plan for that particular change, we can't make that change into the particular feature.
Anyone else?
I think it means that if you don't have the approval, there's no changes that can be applied on the original plan.
Okay. Okay, let me try to explain it. It is saying until you obtain plan approval. That means before that stage. What is that? Before that stage, it is called as draft plan. That your team is making a plan, right? So we are working on a draft plan. And after that plan is approved, what it is called as? Can anyone tell me? After the approval, what a plan is called as?
Baseline. Approved baseline.
Baseline plan. So if you are working on a draft plan, you do not need to put changes to it through change control. That means if any idea comes in our mind, any suggestion from our team, and we are working on a draft plan, it is not yet baseline, so we can make it directly without raising a change request. So what do you think? Is it true or false?
So option 1 is the answer.
Is it true or false?
False. It's false.
It is true. This is how it works. Before the baselining, we do not need to raise a change request. We can make any change as our ideas, suggestions, discussions in the team. We do not need to go to the client and say, sir, can we make this change? We are talking about draft stage.
Yeah.
Until
In other
you
words,
obtain plan. Yes, please.
change control. In other words, change control is applied only on baseline plan.
Exactly. So second option is exactly saying the same thing. Change control makes sure that only approved changes can make it into the approved plan. This is also true. Question is asking about false option. So A is true, cannot be an answer. B is true, cannot be an answer. C, only one person needs to approve the project management plan, and that is the project manager. Is it true or false?
False.
This is false. There are many other stakeholders who need to approve the plan. Fourth,
Yes.
it is important for the entire team to buy into. What is meant by buy into?
Agree on working on
Follow.
the plan.
To include them.
Agree or
involved.
involved on that.
consensus, participation. So if your team feels that we were involved in making the plan versus if they have a feeling that we were not involved in making that plan, this is an imposed plan. So where the chances are higher that the project will be successful, where they have buy-in to or they do not have buy-in to?
They have buy-in to.
They
Then
have
it will be
buy-in to.
successful.
So this is also true. C is the right answer. So this is how they check your knowledge about project management. This is one example only. Another very interesting question. So see, I'm just telling you the style of the exam. I'm not expecting that why you do not need, do not know this knowledge already before this training. We are going to cover all this, but just to warm you up that what kind of topics will be coming in this course. So very important concept. We have to construct a wall in 10 days. 1000 real is the budget. At the end of fourth day, we have completed 20% and we have spent 300 reals. Assuming linear planning. Linear, what is meant by linear planning? Anyone? Equal distributed, uniformly distributed across the time scale. Every day we will spend equal amounts. Every day we will complete equal amounts. But remember, do not be confused about this thing. In reality, your project's plans are non-linear. We can discuss on that later on if you are not clear on that. But for the theoretical questions, exam questions, book questions, and classroom discussions only, we assume linear planning. So assuming linear planning that daily we will spend 10%, daily we will achieve 10%. What can we report about this project right now?
Option B.
Behind
It's
schedule and saving money.
schedule and
Option B.
savings.
Letter
Option
B.
B, yes.
Yasir, I want to know your answer also.
B, sir.
Anyone else?
Option D, I guess, behind schedule and overspending.
So
Sir,
Option D.
it's B, beta.
It seems true because the 1000 real distributed in 4 days should be 400 reals and 20%, it should be 40%, right?
okay, so at least no one is going with option A and C, right? No one is saying it is ahead because in 4 days we have completed 20% work. So 40% time has passed. 20% work has been finished. In 40% time, 20% work is achieved and 30% budget is spent. So if we compare this, we can easily say we are bad on time. So if we are bad on time, we cannot be ahead of schedule. So either it is B or D. So up till here, very easy. Now, many of you are suggesting it is saving money. Maybe one of you saying overspending. So Hafiz Zaim, you said it is overspending. Can you defend your answer, please? Because your answer is different.
Because the only 20% completion, and we compare 20% completion should be 200 real. This is what I was thinking.
What about others? Do you agree with this or not?
This approach I would agree, of course, because it's a linear planning. So
Okay, there are two ways to look at it. If we say in 4 days, or if we compare 30% budget spent in 40% time, 30% budget spent on 40% time, it looks like saving money. Good situation. But if we compare 30% budget spent on 20% work, it looks like a bad situation, overspending. So both comparisons are there. But what is right comparison, more logical comparison, correct comparison, that is budget should always be, yes, Rayan?
It's D.
It's D. You correctly guessed it. Yes, you are right. The right answer is overspending. We should always compare the spending versus accomplishment, not against the time. So yes, Hafiz, Zaim, your answer was right. Any question or confusion from anyone?
I should have a discount, please.
No, you will pay more because you are going to give tough time to me. It's easier to teach people who do not know anything. Okay, just kidding. Next question. You are a PM for a railroad construction project. Most of the questions will be story based. And your sponsor has asked for a forecast. Now, can anyone tell me? Okay, Hafiz, if you answer this question, I will give you a discount. Hafiz Zaim. What is the difference between forecast and plan? First Hafiz Zaim, then I will give chance to everyone else. Yes, Hafiz. Can you tell me the difference between forecast and plan?
Yes, I will try.
Yeah.
Forecasting is like we are just predicting that it should be according to some kind of measurements, and planning is like we are planning that we will do this project, and this will be our targets, and this will be our um, uh, goals to achieve.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, please.
Yeah, forecast is prediction, estimation, and planning means it's a quantitative measures before the project that in this budget we have completed this much. It's a quantitative amount, but forecast is totally prediction, or you can say estimation.
Okay, if I ask you in this example, first Hafiz Zaim, I give you a second chance to correct your answer. Can you tell me how much is the plan cost related? Cost related plan, tell me number, and cost related forecast in this example. Tell me both numbers. First Hafiz Zaim, then others.
Cost plan is 1,000 Riyal.
Okay. Forecast.
And forecast is not clear to me, honestly.
Okay, anyone else, please? How much will be the forecast here?
Forecast is like 20 days. It will be completed as per the
No,
progress.
cost forecast. Cost forecast.
Cost is definitely in 10 days 100 Saudi Riyal, but as per the progress, 4 days and 20% we have completed. So this can be done in 20 days in this form.
No, you are telling time forecast. 20 days is a schedule forecast. You have to predict for the cost.
Okay, oh, you're asking for the cost. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Then it shall be 1,500.
1,500. Yes, you are right. This is 1,500.
Yeah, because the 300 is multiplied into
Exactly.
5.
Yeah. So this is the difference between plan and the forecast. Plan was that we will finish this project in 1,000. This is before execution started. Once the execution starts, now we are having good or bad performances. Now, on the basis of that, we predict that if these things continue in the same fashion, this project will cost us 1,500, not 1,000. Is this point clear to everyone?
Yes.
It is clear.
Okay.
Then I have also one question is that we have a forecast of 1,500 and we have a cost plan of 1,000. What about the estimation cost that might be we gave before the plan, how we can differentiate that estimation cost versus that fourth cost that we have
All the
identified?
estimation cost is part of the plan now. Your estimates, when they were approved, they became the
Okay,
baseline plan,
yes.
right? So estimation is in the planning stage also, estimation is in the forecasting stage also. Okay, now the question here is, your sponsor is asking you for a forecast for the cost of project completion. The project has a total budget of $80,000 and a CPI of 0.95. Now, CPI is also a very important term. Once again, these things I will explain in detail for the beginners. CPI is cost performance index. In easiest wordings, it is your spending efficiency. So this is your spending efficiency. So if we say 0.95, 0.95 means 95% efficiently. So you are spending your budget 95% efficiently. So that means there is a slight overspending. Out of every 100 reals, 95 reals are fruitful or productive, 5 reals are going wasted. 95 reals are useful, 5 reals are going wasted out of every 100 reals you are spending. So the project has total budget, how much? 80,000. And so far, we have spent 25,000. How much more money do you plan or expect to spend on the project? So easily you can answer this question, even if you do not apply any formula. This is a useful technique even in the exams also, that if you cannot directly reach to the right answer, you can select 3 wrong answers and whatever is left is your right answer, even if you cannot directly identify it. So total budget is 80,000. Project is going not very bad in terms of spending. So how much remaining should be there? Should be less than 80,000. So only one value is there which is less than
59, yeah.
80,000. I
That's
think
59,
yeah, 59.
59,000.
59 is
Yeah,
the right
59.
answer. Here I think we can take a 15 minutes break. After 15 minutes, inshallah, we will resume. And we have the topics which are to be covered are the exam contents, or what are the course contents in PMP. So inshallah, we will resume in 15 minutes, inshallah. I'm back now. Before break, we were discussing some sample questions. We'll go to the next one now. One last question that sometimes they ask question in this way also, even if this question does not come in the exam, but conceptually this is very important concept in project management, that if we have list of activities, let's say we have 9 activities here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Their durations are given here, 5 days, 6 days, 4 days, like this. And their predecessors are given. When we say A has no predecessor, that means this is the starting activity. B also has no predecessor. C has a predecessor of A. That means when A will finish, then C can start. D also depends on A, E depends on A, F depends on E, G depends on D and F, two activities when both are finished. H depends on B and C, and I depends on G and H. So can you tell me, even if you want, you can take a minute. Can you tell me how much is the project duration in this situation? Osman is saying 51 days. SNH is saying 26 days. Anyone else? So what is the right way to do that? We make a network diagram on the basis of the defined activities here. So we have a starting node here, and we have an ending node here, and then A, C, H, and I. So we make a network diagram, and then we identify all the possible paths between start and end. So like we can go to A, we can go to C, we can go to H, we can go to I. So A, C, H, and I, this is one path. A, D, G, and I, A, E, F, G, and I, and B, H, and I. So then the total of each path is calculated, and then the longest path in terms of duration is called as critical path, and it is considered as the project duration. So we will of course discuss in detail later on, inshallah, in the full course. So this is the concept of project duration. Now, up till here, I just explained you the application process, exam format, sample questions, interface of the exam, certification renewal, and now I'm going to explain you the course contents. Before I close this certification related, exam related, any question or confusion from anyone, please? Did you guys come back after the break or not? Or I'm speaking alone only?
You're
Yeah,
not alone.
we're here.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so these are the course contents that what we are supposed to cover in the PMP course. So remember, we have mainly these 10 topics. project scope management, schedule management, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder, and integration management. And there is another topic which is actually built in these 10 topics, or we can call it as explicitly also. This is your agile project management. So these are also called as 10 knowledge areas. These scope, schedule, cost, quality, and resource management, and communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder integration. All these are called as knowledge areas also. Or you can say these are the 10 chapters in the book or the training that we are going to cover. And agile project management, you can consider it in two ways. Either it's a separate topic, that is also fine, or it is part of these 10 other chapters, then it is fine. So just to quickly tell you what is the difference between agile and non-agile. When we say non-agile is called as your waterfall method or traditional method. So traditional method or waterfall method, which you are doing already, where the scope is already clear, you make a plan in terms of time, cost, quality, everything, and then you baseline and then you start execution. This is called as waterfall method. Agile method is when the scope is not clear. Then how you do it. So this is the recent introduction or addition in the books of PMP in last 6 years. They have added it. But now, since last 3 years, they have started asking so many questions on agile in the exam. So today, I'm just going to give you brief introduction about these 10 knowledge areas. Agile, I already told you, but in the actual course, we will discuss, of course, in a lot more detail. Scope management. When we say scope, so some people use term requirements. Some people use term scope. So can you tell me, are these two things same or different? If they are different, what is the difference? Anyone, please.
Uh,
Requirements is all about defining a feature functionalities of the product that we are expecting, but the scope is actually define the boundaries in which we are doing something.
Okay, yes, Rayan.
yeah, scope is it's like the thing that needs to be accomplished. It is like a summarization of all the things that they need to do. And requirements is like the things that they need to accomplish first before we could get to that scope completion. Basically, before we could start something, we have to fulfill those requirements. So that I mean, cost requirements is it's a lot of requirements. So, for example, in a project wherein there are a lot of erections or let's say welding activities or whatever, it's
So
basically
if
having some
yeah, just to help you in understanding in very easy way, if I
yeah.
say
Perfect.
requirements are problems or needs or expectations of
Yes,
the
basically.
customer,
Yeah.
that what are the problems you are facing, these are addressed under requirements. Remember, here some people they get confused that maybe I'm talking about resource requirements. I'm not talking about
Yes.
resource requirements at this moment. I'm talking about project requirements and project scope. So requirements are the problems, need, expectations, the pain areas of the customer. Scope is the solution, that what we will deliver in order to address these problems. Very easy example. That sometimes, let's say you go to a pharmacy, right, and you tell that person that I am having headache and fever, and give me something. So what you are telling? You are a customer. You are telling him your problems, and he says that, sir, take this Panadol extra and sleep for some time. Inshallah, you will be fine. So he is offering you scope. You accept it. You pay for it. He delivers it, and you come back. This is one scenario where the customer came up with the requirements and the contractor, he offered the solution or the scope, and both agreed and it was done. Just a similar scenario that you go to a pharmacy on the basis of your past experience, you tell him directly, give me Panadol. Why? Because you are in a similar situation. You are having headache, you are having fever, but as you have tested it in past that yes, Panadol works for me, you know already what is my solution. So you are not explaining him the requirements, you are just explaining him, give me Panadol. That's it. So sometimes the customers in the tender documents or in the bid documents or in the RFPs, they explain the requirements. Sometimes they explain the scope. So we are just discussing scope management. And right now, I'm just telling you few terms, not all right now, just few terms that scope or requirements, what is the difference? And one more term here, WBS. Can anyone tell me what is WBS?
Work breakdown structure.
Work breakdown structure. What is the
Yeah.
purpose of WBS? Anyone? Why we make WBS?
It's a breakdown of whole execution plan, actually.
Yeah, it's a step by step, basically step by step of the project, step by step procedure. Basically, it's same like a procedure, but it's step by step on how to.
It's a decomposition of the scope.
Yes, basically.
And why we decompose? So that it becomes simplified and we can focus on each part separately. For example, very easy example. On the previous slide, I told you that these are the 11 topics of project management which are going to come in the exam. Otherwise, we can say what is going to come in the exam? Project management. But project management is a huge field. To further make it easy for the person to understand, we say, okay, there will be scope management, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder integration, and agile. Now it becomes easy for you to focus on each part separately. That now we are discussing scope, now we are discussing schedule, now we are discussing cost. So what we have done, we have decomposed the project management into 11 pieces. And we again think that scope management itself, it's a big piece. So let's distribute it further in 6 more pieces. This is scope management. So scope management further decomposed into 6 processes. Plan scope management, collect requirements, define scope, create WBS, validate scope, control scope. So it becomes more and more simpler or precise when we decompose the project. So some small projects we decompose in 2 levels, 3 levels. Some mega projects or giga projects, maybe we decompose in 6 levels or 7 levels maybe. So this is the concept of WBS, work breakdown structure. And mostly on the last level of this WBS, we have deliverables. So in scope management, if we understand it in this easy way, that scope management focuses on what aspect of the project, that what is to be delivered, what is to be produced at the end of this project. That comes under scope management. And if I go to schedule management focuses on how aspect of project management. So very easy. Scope management focuses on what is to be produced. After we are clear about what is to be produced, then we focus on each what one by one, and we try to find out how we can produce it. So when we say how we can produce it, we define activities. And just to clarify, some people have this confusion. Activities and tasks are same thing. It's only a terminology difference. Some software applications like Microsoft Project, they use term tasks. They do not use terminology of activities. Primavera P6, they use term activities. They do not use term task. Activity relationships, task relationships, activity duration, task duration. So there is no difference in activities and tasks. It's only a terminology difference. PMP mostly uses term activities. So we define activities, then we arrange the activities, sequence activities in finish to start, start to start, start to finish, and finish to finish relationships. Then we estimate the durations of each activity. Then we develop the schedule by using critical path method, making the network diagram to be able to find out the total project duration. This is what we do in schedule management. Cost management. Cost management, we already know what are the activities. And in another knowledge area, which will come after a few slides, which is resource management, we know each activity will have different resources. And resources are of three types. Can you tell me which three types? Very easy question I have asked. Which three types of resources are there? Surra, surra, ya shabab, surra. There are three types of resources: manpower, machines, and materials. So every resource has a certain per hour or per unit rate. So we know the duration of each activity. For example, A1 is of 5 days, A3 is of 3 days, A2 is of 3 days, A3 is of 10 days, into number of hours, into resource per unit rate. So we get an idea about the activity cost. That activity cost we aggregate on the WBS level and ultimately on the project level. So we get an idea about the total budget required for the project. Quality management. What is quality? Quality is to meet or exceed the customer's expectations. Within that, we plan that how we are going to perform QA also and how we are going to perform QC also. Here, can anyone tell me the difference between QA and QC? QA is quality assurance. QC is quality control. But what is the difference? Can anyone tell me, please?
Quality assurance is the one that creates all the procedures and parameters on acceptance, and then the quality control is the one that confirms the quality, or they are the one who checks the items or the projects if it is fulfilling the required quality checks. I mean checklist.
Very easy example to understand. Let's say you go to any electronics or computer appliances shop, mouse or keyboard or webcam, anything. On the box, you see a label or sticker which says QC checked or QC passed. Very common observation. Have you ever seen any box where they have written QC failed? Never. So does that mean that that manufacturer, whatever they have produced is passing QC? No, that is also not true. So where are those QC failed items? They remain inside the factory or manufacturing facility. These are not sent to the customer or the market. So that means the QC is a layer between production and the customer. If QC is satisfied, only then it will be delivered to the customer. Otherwise, it will be sent back to the production or discarded. This is the role of QC. So QC is to, if I say QC is to find the defects in the product, right? QC is to find the defects in the product. And what about QA? QA is to avoid the defects in the product. So that is why some people say QA is process oriented, QC is product oriented. So they actually mean to say that QC focuses on the outcome, QA focuses on the production processes. That if your production processes are strong, likelihood is that we will produce a quality product. So that's why QA is to avoid the defects in the product and QC is to find the defects in the product. So now if I say there are 3 stages before making something, during making something, and after making something. So can you tell me where the QC will come? Very easy question. Before or during or after?
All.
After.
After.
And where QA will come?
During.
And what will happen before? QA or
Also
QC?
QA.
QA. So this is how it fits in this context. Any question or concerns?
Yeah, does QA also ensure that QC's work, the procedure of QC is working fine? In my opinion, QA covers the whole life cycle of the delivery.
In my
Before,
opinion, I think it's all. Because before we start a project, we have to check the materials if it is in fulfilling the requirements. And in process, they have to check if that requirements is fulfilled according to the QA's procedure. And after, before the item was released to customer, then QC will again check it for final inspection.
Right.
So I think it's for all.
What is for all? QA for all or?
I mean QC for all and QA
no,
is
see,
before.
QC is on a finished outcome.
QA is
Okay.
for, QA is
Right.
for all.
So that is why QA is coming, QC is coming only after something is produced, but before handing it over to the customer. Now, quality assurance is to avoid the defects before making it or during making it. But if you say after making it, right? After making it, yes, I'm trying to fit the suggestion from Yasir here that after you are making it and QC is finding so much defects, that input will also come back into QA. In that context, yes, there is an indication that whatever we planned is not working effectively. We need to refine our process. So that is also quality assurance.
Clear.
Ah. Resource management. So resources are of three types: manpower, machine, and material. Here you will notice that somewhere we are using term resources, somewhere we are using term team. So what is the difference? Very easy difference. Anyone can guess. Resources means all three types of resources, including manpower, machine, and material. But when we say team only means manpower. So there are some aspects which are only related to the manpower: team development, training activities, team building activities, outings, motivation, demotivation, conflicts, appraisals. What is meant by appraisal, by the way? Anyone?
Increment?
Appraisal means increment. That is your expectation. Appraisal means assessment. Identify the strengths and weaknesses in an individual. Indirectly, it results in promotions or increments or higher responsibilities. So appraisals are mostly performed by your line managers, but some companies have a concept of 360-degree appraisals also, that they do not take the feedback only from one person above you. In fact, they ask people who are under you also, who are around you also, across the departments also. So that is called as 360-degree appraisals. So we estimate the resources, we arrange the resources, we develop the resources, we manage the team. So all these come under resource management. Communication management. Communication means information sharing or knowledge sharing, right? So when we say information sharing, who will share the information? Stakeholders. When we say stakeholders, who is a stakeholder? Can anyone tell me? Very easy question.
Project partners.
Project partners, okay. Who else?
All people involved in the project.
All people involved in the project. So remember, it's a big definition. Anyone who can positively or negatively impact the project or get impacted by the project, he is a stakeholder. So different
Any
stakeholders. Yes, please, Yasir, go ahead.
any individual or any organization who has direct or indirect interest in the project.
Direct or indirect interest in the project. Yes, you are right. So anyone who can impact the project in a good or bad way, or the project can impact that individual or society or organization or ministry in a good or bad way, he or she is a stakeholder. So different stakeholders have different interests. Some stakeholders need information related to spending only. Some stakeholders need information related to completion only. Some stakeholders need to know incidents or defects or injuries only. So different stakeholders need different information in different frequencies. Some need daily basis, some need weekly basis, some need quarterly basis. Different stakeholders need different information in a different frequency, in different format. Some people, they say, just send me a WhatsApp message. For me, it's enough. Some people, they say, just send me an email. Some people, they say, no, give me a written, signed, stamped report. So different information in different frequency, in different format, everything comes under communication management. Risk management. Risk is any event that may or may not happen. Risk is any event that may or may not happen. But if it happens, there is a positive or a negative impact on the project. Normally people think that only it will result in negative, but it could be positive also. Can you give me an example of any positive risks?
The
For example,
client may ask for an extension of the project, for example,
extension of the
which
project.
may,
Yeah,
yes, which will add to revenue of the project or the company.
right.
This is a positive.
Scope addition.
Scope addition, or we can say prices can increase. This is a negative risk, but prices can decrease. This is a positive risk. So this is easy example to understand for everyone. And when we say negative risk, there is a certain name for that. Can anyone guess the name? Threats. Negative risks are called as threats, and positive risks, opportunities. So anything that may or may not happen, and if it happens, there is an impact on the project. This is called as a risk. So if I say, let's say, if I say prices of steel may increase, is it a risk, yes or no? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, assuming that we need to buy steel for our project, then it is a risk. Otherwise, if we say we are working on a software project which does not need steel at any stage, then this is not a risk for us. So in our example, we are assuming we need steel. Yes, it's a risk. But if I say steel prices have increased, is it a risk? Yes or no?
Positive impact risk if you're manufacturing steel.
No, it's not a risk. It's
It's
already done.
already done. That is
Yeah,
the
already done.
point here, that if something already happened, it's an issue. Face it. If you say some team member can resign, it is a risk. If you say some important team member has resigned, this is an issue. So risks are always for future. May happen or may not happen with some degree of uncertainty. So for example, if I say, let's say, as I told you, our training will start on 17th of May, right? For any reason, let's say because of any flight delay or any internet issue, any weather issue, is it possible that we may not be able to start our class on 17th and it might be delayed by one day? We will start on 18th because of internet issues, for example. Like in Pakistan, sometimes there are internet issues also. So is it possible, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, possible. If this is
Yes.
possible, this is a risk. So internet issue, because of that internet issue, maybe we will not be able to start on 17th of May. This is a risk that we have identified. Now, if I ask you, as I told you, in Pakistan, it's very common. In Saudi Arabia or in Dubai, it's not that common. I'm in Dubai right now, right? Or and to be precise, I'm in Sharjah right now. So in UAE, what are the chances that internet there will be an internet disconnectivity on 17th of May? If I give you 5 options, I'm asking about chances, right? Chances of internet disconnectivity on 17th of May. I am giving you 5 options: very high, high, medium, low, or very low. What will you choose?
Very low.
Very low. And if I ask you, if it happens, assume I am still in Sharjah and still it happens on that day, it is possible anywhere, yes. Even if we say very low chances, that does not mean 0%. It could be 2%, 1%, 1.5%. Impact, very high, high, medium, low, or very low, because we will have to shift by one day and Eid is also coming after that. So how big will be that impact? What do you think? Very high or medium or low, very low? Maybe for some of you it's very low, no problem. Some of you may have some travel plan. So let's assume high. So what we did, we identified a risk that on 17th of May, the training could be postponed because of internet disconnectivity. This is a risk identification. Very low chances it happens, and if it happens, high impact, this is called as qualitative risk analysis. And if we represent the same thing in this way, let's say we are working on a construction project, and I say that 30% chances of rain wasting 10 days in our 24 months project, that there are some outdoor activities, 30% chances that there will be a wastage of 10 days. And because of that wastage, there will be some labor expenditures or some material wastage, and it will cost you $15,000. So now you see, we are representing our analysis in quantitative form. This is called as quantitative analysis. So we identify the risk, we perform qualitative analysis, we perform quantitative analysis, then we plan risk responses. What could be the risk responses? Risk responses could be have a backup internet plan, internet connection, outsource something, buy insurance, fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, CCTV installations. So all these are coming under planned risk responses. This is what we do in risk management. Procurement management. When we say procurement management means when we, who are we? We are customer. When we need them, who are them? Suppliers, vendors, contractors, subcontractors. So this relationship between we and them is done through procurement. And what are the needs here? We could need manpower, machines, materials. Now, if I ask you materials, can we buy material from someone or can we rent material from someone, or both are possible?
Buy.
Buy. Rent is possible or not?
Material, no.
No, because materials are consumables.
Yeah.
What about machines?
Yes, we can rent and buy both.
We can buy and rent both. What
Buy
about
and rent.
manpower?
Both.
Can we buy manpower?
Like we can take them on payroll and we can take them on supply. So we
That
have both
is,
of them.
no, that is not buying. Still, even if we hire
It's a
them on
rent.
a permanent
You can
position,
rent, but you
Yeah.
still
can't
it is
buy.
a rental process. Buy means slaves. So slavery
Ah.
system is not no more allowed, right? So only rental basis, right? So these are 4 scenarios of the resources of procurement. Why we need resources? Very and other aspect, why we need resources? After arranging these resources, we will utilize these resources on activities. Why we need to perform activities? When activities will be performed, we will complete our scope components.
Which is deliverables.
Deliverables or work packages. So what if instead of going into this gir or headache, why don't we give this scope to them, which is called as outsourcing? So sometimes we outsource our scope to the contractors. And why it suits us? Sometimes we need to give the scope to other companies because we do not know how to make it. Expertise, lack of expertise. Sometimes we know how to make it, but we do not have time to make it. Sometimes we know how to make it, we have time to make it, but it will be expensive if we make it. If they make it, they may spend less amount, even plus profit margin. Very easy example. Let's say for PMP, you need to print a book of 500 pages. Very easy example. That after the training for your self-study, book reading, you need to print a book of 500 pages. You have two options. You can print from your personal printer or you can go to a bookshop. What do you think? Which one be more expensive?
Personal printer.
Personal printer. Even you are not charging profit from yourself. The reason is that bookshop has heavy duty printers. Their speed is more. Their cost of unit production is less. Even they are charging profit from you, still they will charge you less versus how much time and cost you will spend on printing the same 500 pages. So that is
Yes.
very easy example to understand that sometimes outsourcing saves cost
Mm.
for the customers. Then stakeholder management, as I told you, we identify the stakeholders, anyone who can positively or negatively impact the project or get impacted by the project, he is a stakeholder. So we need to identify, we need to classify. All the stakeholders are not of equal importance or equal power, so we need to treat them separately or differently. Integration management, all these knowledge areas that we discussed already, what are those? Scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder management. These 9 knowledge areas are integrated. Change in one area will have impact on the others also. For example, if we say scope is to make 10-story building, 10 floor building, schedule is 10 months, cost is $10 million, and now all of a sudden the customer says, please make it 15-story building. So can we say all other things will remain same and only scope is changed? No, there will be a big change in schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, stakeholders might be changed. So this is the concept of integration, that all these things are correlated. If you change one thing, others might be changed as well. The same concept of project management is presented in the form of process groups also, that whenever we start a project, and just to tell you, maybe another 5 minutes and I am done. So we are just ahead of schedule. We finished before time, and then I understand it's a Ramzan night also and odd night also. So I appreciate you took time to attend this. So inshallah, just 5 more minutes, inshallah. Initiating processes. Whenever we start a project, it is called as initiating, and after that we start the planning with our team, our technical people. After we are done with the draft plan, we present to the stakeholders, high-level stakeholders, top management, customer, or whoever. And after revisions, after their concerns, after their objections, after their constraints, we change it and we convert or finalize as a baseline plan. After the plan is baselined, we start execution. And when we start execution, from day one of execution, we start monitoring that whatever is happening, is it according to baseline, yes or no? If that is according to the baseline, wonderful. If that is not according to the baseline and there is a difference between what is written in the baseline and what is happening in reality, it could be in terms of time, it could be in terms of cost. That difference is called as variance. If variance is small, we say Mafi Mushkil, Allah Kareem, inshallah. 5% variance, 3% variance, माफी मुश्किल है. But if that variance is big enough to disturb the stakeholders, then what we do replanning, which some people call it as recovery planning as well. So this is how it goes. Or sometimes not because of bad performance, sometimes because of scope changing, we need to do replanning. So this cycle continues, and when we finish all the deliverables, we go to closing processes. Last term only, how much variance is big variance, how much variance is small variance. There has to be a limit defined in your initial planning stage, and that is called as threshold values. For example, we say 15% variance in spending. That is the threshold. Sponsor is not happy even on 14%, 13%, 12%, but he is saying, okay, I know problems do happen, but I am trusting your skills as a project manager. But if it goes more than 15%, now maybe I will use someone else in going into the details and investigating why it is happening and do the recovery planning or any corrective or preventive actions, even if I have to fire or replace the project manager. So how much variance is no more tolerable? That limit is called as threshold value. Just to mention again, this is going to be the schedule of the course. Inshallah, anyone wants to attend the full course, please contact me on WhatsApp. This is my number. Anyone having any question or confusion, please feel free to ask me. If you want recording or presentation of the same session, you can send me a WhatsApp. Tomorrow I will share, inshallah, with you the recording of this session and the PDF also. Now it's up to you. If anyone wants to leave, no problem. Thank you very much for attending this. If anyone has any question, please go ahead. Feel free to ask me.
I have just one question.
Yeah, please.
For these session, if we miss by chance any of the sessions, so we will have recording for that.
Yeah, my normal practice is that I do share the recording next morning and it remains available for 1 week. After that 1 week, I remove it. You can watch it only online multiple times. You cannot
Okay.
download it.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Thank you, Abu Bakr, very much for the
Yeah,
session.
my pleasure. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wassalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Welcome.
Assalamualaikum.
Wassalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, Akilur Rahman, please go ahead. If no one has any question, can I close the session?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Jazakallah
My
khair.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Come. Welcome. Okay, see you tomorrow. See you next
You.
session, inshallah. Have a nice Eid and Ramzan, inshallah, and Ibadat, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.